Welcome back to another episode. DS3 Racing. Remember this bad boy?
Might have saw it in the back of the last video.
Yeah.
Wondering what was going on.
Yeah, we've got it back though. But the reason it took a bit of time, Jonesy had a nightmare painting the front bumper because it has this matte lacquer. So the paint isn't matte, it's just the lacquer. He had a sample piece of the old bumper which he sent off. They have to then put like a normal lacquer on it, gloss lacquer, to then paint match it, for then them to mix up the paint and give it back to him. And then when he paints it with then the matte lacquer, he doesn't know if it matches until the paint dries, because when he paints it when it's wet, it's gloss. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So, I don't know what it's looking like on the camera to you. I think he's done an alright job.
Well, we've spent a bit of time looking at it. Now, I will say it does literally depends what angle I'm pointing it at. Sometimes it looks better, sometimes it looks worse.
Do you know what? We'll keep the camera on this position for about 10 minutes and you'll go through, yeah, it looks that. Then you'll go, no, it's sound, it's min. It literally plays.
Is it like one of the magic eye things?
Yeah. I think it's chameleon. It changes colour as you look at it.
No, so, I think he said he could do it again.
Yeah.
But he might just end up in a different shade or darker or light. It's a really difficult thing to match.
He had a bit of back and forth with whoever mixed the paint, and he said, who mixes paint up because it doesn't match? And then they said to him, the paint matches, it depends how much of the lacquer you put on.
Yeah.
But you don't know what finish it gets until it dries. But then his argument was, it's just lacquer, it's clear. Do you know what I mean? How's that changed the paint? He seemed to think that paint is a little bit dark. He said, I can sand it all down, repaint it again, but it'll be the same. So we don't know where to go.
It is really annoying because where I'm looking at it, it looks okay.
I'm looking at it, it looks sound.
But through the camera, I think you can.
And then if you look from here, it's really hard, mate. I don't know.
Let's get a close up.
See, it looks good there, doesn't it? And then you come there, you can see a difference.
Yeah, but then once the camera adjusts, it looks the same again. It is very close, and this is probably why they wrote the car off for a bumper. Yeah. Because it would have taken them 10 grand to just match the paint on it. The conclusion we've come to is that we're going to keep it like this anyway. At the end of the day, we could give it back 10 times, and whether it would come back, I don't know. Yeah. He said it'd be difficult. He told us from the beginning it'd be difficult to match. Yeah. It has been difficult to match. And I think that's just something we're going to have to deal with.
Let's see what it looks like.
Well, some people don't even match gloss paint well, let alone this. He said as well that it could come up better if you polish it, but you can only polish it ever so slightly.
This is what he's saying, because when we went to look at it, I said it's as if this part here is a bit shinier than that. And he says, look mate, I can polish it, but if I polish it too much, it will just go back to normal gloss.
Yeah, it
and
polishes
then he'll have to, it polishes the matte out of it. Yeah. Anyway, enough on the bumper.
Yeah, we're keeping it like that anyway. So.
Yeah. You remember it had all this carbon on it. So, the guys who did the Atom stuff was a real good price. But when we sent this to them, I think they don't like Citroens and they just couldn't be arsed. So they gave a stupid quote, and it's like 1,800 quid, weren't it, for just to have these bits repaired on the front lip. They've got that both sides. There's a little crack in the side skirt bit on the one side, and then these side bits, I mean, there's some slight damage there and a crack on the on the inner part. Same there. Real minor stuff, but I think they charge per crack because there's loads of cracks everywhere. And then Citroen do them, but they're like 2 grand. So this is another thing why this car's probably been written off, is because of all these bits. So what do you think we're going to do?
Throw it all in the bin.
No, we're going to have a go ourselves, because then we can chuck it in the bin and buy new stuff from Citroen.
Yeah, and lose money on the car and cry about it.
Yeah. So we're going to attempt to fix this ourselves.
Been doing your research?
I watch one. You know me. I watch videos. It's a bit like instructions. I only skip to the good bits. So I probably missed all the prep bit.
Yeah, all the prep.
You know, the finished result. Yeah, he's done a lot on that. I've watched it. So bought myself from Amazon, 12 quid I think this was. So you know like where this is going, it's going wrong in it for 12 quid. We can't fix this lot for 12 quid, can we? Can't even open the bag. So we've got ourselves some resin. Look, this is the first time I've opened it. If this matches, mate.
Is that real carbon fibre?
That is real. That is what carbon fibre is. I know this is matte. It looks the same sort of size. I don't know if you can pick that on camera.
That's not real.
It is. That's carbon fibre. It is. What do you think it is in a bandage? I don't know why it's bent like that. Then we've got this resin and another thingy. Got a little paintbrush. Got a lollipop stick with no ice cream. So that's that. We're gonna have a go at that. And then remember the bits we're getting that from Citroen. And then this is all good. It's just a bit scuffed. So we're going to flat that down, and we've got some gloss black to put on that. And then this on the DS3 Racing is black. So we're going to flat that down. We've got some plastic primer, and we're going to paint that black. And then in this episode, we have got that, I think.
Fingers crossed.
So what me and Jack are going to do, try and do this car. I reckon it's just like fiberglass. That pump looks normal from here.
Right, step one, clean it.
Yeah.
The next step, what is it?
We've got to kind of prep the areas, so if there's any high bits, you've got to sand it down, but I think you've got to watch what you do. You can't go too crazy. I think you can sand the weave down, and then it'll
you might mark it or something, I don't know.
So we've got to just sand the area off, prep the area, and obviously stiffen the back up, haven't we, Jack? Like I say, some bits, we can just about get to that bit, and then we've got a split here, which we can put a bit of the carbon on the back of that crack, because if you just put resin in the front, it's just going to crack again. You need to stiffen it back up. We're going to attempt these little bits first before we attempt, basically we're going to cock up these bits first before we cock the other bits.
Sounds good.
It cut quite easy, that didn't it?
Yeah, I don't believe it. You can cut carbon fibre with scissors.
Yeah, don't look, if it was covered in resin, you wouldn't do it, would you? Obviously. Go on the back there, and that'd just obviously hopefully stiffen all that up. Correct way to mix your epoxy and your, what's the other bit?
It's like ones that just
hardener.
Hardener, yeah, something like that.
You're supposed to measure it out, and obviously we haven't got.
All weigh it out.
All weigh it out. But we are not doing that because we haven't got the correct facilities. Because we're idiots. So what we've come up with, this cunning plan, we've said that is twice as big as that. So
but we don't want to mix it all at once.
And what we're saying is, to mix all that, they've got to give you the right amount of that. So 2 caps of that to 1 cap of that, is that what we're ratio?
Might take about 40 minutes just to measure it out.
And it's just going to go anyway. We're gonna
we have got a big measuring jug, but it's too big.
Too big.
The amount of.
And then this one measured up to that. So yeah, we're gonna guesstimate it to the best of our.
What could go wrong?
Pea-brain knowledge. So cracks there.
I mean, it looks good wet.
Yeah. And that's that in the back, what's stiffening it up. Okay, while we've got this now then, we'll leave that there. All the other stuff's come out good. This ain't come out bad yet, but because he's a bit more, the fractures in it are a bit kind of uneven, if you know what I mean, and it's really hard to get it to all line back up. Ideally, I reckon you'd have to lay a piece of carbon over that, but I think if we did that, I mean we may have to do that, but it's going to make it look worse. But I think what we'll have to do, let that set, we may have to put a bit more thinking to build it up, and then when we sand that back, the resin back, it'll all sand up nice. But it takes 24 hours, so we'll come back tomorrow. We've got to peel this tape off before we go, because that'll sit on there, and we'll have another look then. But no, I'm happy. Are you happy, Jack? So far so good, should we say? I mean, have a little look at these. We don't have, because obviously we've reinforced, see all these drips and that'll all, I've nearly put my hand in that then, but that will all sand down, and then obviously we've reinforced it on the back with the carbon, so that crack then will become solid and not crack again. And then, like I say, once we've sanded it all up, sanded that down, we'll sand the whole thing, and then it's the satin lacquer.
I hope it matches the rest of the car.
This is the thing, it's not, yeah, it is. Let's be positive, it's going to be wicked. Right, let's this set. Am I saying that right? I need to go back to school, don't I? Can't talk.
School ain't going to help you, mate.
Didn't have it in the first place, didn't go.
Right then, it's been a couple of days since me and Stokes did the carbon fibre repair. The resin's all gone off now. I've got the front grille from Citroen, so the main big grille. For some reason they didn't have the outer trim bit that we needed, but we can clip that in after, so that's not big of a deal. I'll show you where we did the repairs. It's looking a little bit better. It's definitely stronger, which is what we were going for. So now I'm going to have to sand all that down in the places that we've repaired, see if it needs another coat of the resin, and then basically give it another coat in places it needs it, and if it needs strengthening in any more places, do that too. So I'm going to sand it all down, might give that little bit there a sand down. Once it's all finished, we can get some matte paint on it if we can get it looking good enough. This butt front splitter is a bit ropey. So I'm going to do the best I can, but we may have to buy a new one, who knows. Right, been busy beavering. I've sanded down all the high spots on the resin, which I've put a little bit more on that again, but I'll show you this one. It's not perfect, I don't think it ever will be. I don't know if you can see that. But that was the original split, but it's strong now, it's smooth, and I've got rid of just some of the little scuffs and bits on it. So what I'm going to do, because I've had to put a little bit more resin on the splitter, because that's a bit more worse for wear than the actual arch is, that's got to go off for 24 hours basically, so I've got to leave that to dry. There's a little bit more on there that I've put on, so I've got to leave that to dry. But what I'm going to do, just to test to see whether this is the right sort of lacquer, I'm going to give this just a once over with the sander, just to give a bit of a rough surface and try the lacquer on it, because if it doesn't match at all, we've got to try something else. Apparently that's before and after. Don't look right, does it?
Well, one's black and one's grey.
Yeah. Once that's gone off tomorrow, I'll sand it down again. If that looks right,
we'll give give everything a lacquer, won't we?
But because Dave's here now, we need to tell you. You need to tell him your story from yesterday, don't you?
All right.
You know our carbon repair kit we've just bought.
Yeah, we're gonna have to use it again. So obviously, you know, we got an Atom. I like to use it because it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal machine, and it's right up my street. Yeah, might have had a bit of an accident yesterday. Not my fault before everybody jumps to any conclusion.
You didn't run out of talent, did you?
Nah, behave yourself. That car, you can't.
Well,
we had this repaired.
Well, that doesn't look like it. Shouldn't that be on the car?
Yeah, but we had this repaired. And as you can see, it snapped off. And then obviously it's dragged under the car. There, and there, which, just to make things clear, look, there's no crash marks, it's all in good nick, it's literally snapped there. I blame Jack basically, because when we was at D-Max,
you would though, wouldn't you?
he's doing 150 mile an hour and he'd done about 13 runs, so I blame him for the, like, you know, for the wind, like, doing that. It just shouldn't
vibrating
be.
it.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing 140, 50 mile an hour every 2 minutes. Now, you know what it is? Every time we've used it, it was always flimsy anyway, weren't it? Like, these are just for show. They don't give you any like
downforce.
As you can see, it's give us downforce and snapped off.
Straight to the ground.
But we reckon when it's been repaired, it's just over time. Every time we've used it, it's got on, and it's just slowly but surely, yeah. So yeah, that was my.
You're gonna get the full F1 front wing, don't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get ones that step up and that. And you can get one that goes right across, but it goes. This is, well, I found one for 1,200 quid.
Yeah.
Then the one with the little step up, which I like, is 1,400 quid. But then I think the full Monty one's like 1,800 quid. So it's getting a bit ridiculous. Plus the car's for sale, so it's only the next owner that's gonna benefit from it. So we're just gonna get a normal one. Yeah. Or we're gonna repair this.
I think that might be a bit beyond repair.
Yeah, no. You just what you do is you dip it in carbon, it comes back out now.
Well, I think it might look good up there.
No.
See, just under the flag?
Underneath this flag like a moustache. Thing is...
It would have happened to any of us if we'd driven it.
The thing is, we could leave this car in here and not use it, and nothing will ever happen. The tyres won't go bald, the brakes won't get used, oil won't get used, accidents won't happen, but what is the point?
Yeah, pointless.
Like, it's just pointless. The car's here to be used. We've used it. If I'd have come off and I would have crashed it, I'd be like, Jesus Christ, yeah. But honestly, it just come off. I got told off. I nearly got banned from Donington as well because I got out of my car because I couldn't work out what the smell and what had gone on. So I've jumped out when I thought it was safe, thinking, you know, if the engine's on fire.
You wasn't on the track, was you? You pulled off the track.
No, I'd gone straight down the straight. If you know Donington, you go straight down the straight. And I just went straight on and like come off the track and I just parked there. So I waited until like I knew no more cars were coming and I jumped out. They went wild. You can't do that. Rah, rah, rah. And I was just like, I ain't gonna lie, mate. I panicked, jumped out. Then when I realised what it was, I was annoyed because I was like, how has this even happened? Yeah. But they let me off and I just carried on my day anyway.
Putting in hot laps. Isn't it just a bit less weight, isn't it?
Just putting in some good laps. I didn't take a GoPro, so you're not going to be able to see. No. This is why I should take GoPro, so everybody knows I'm not lying.
So just on this bit here, there's a bit of a scuff on the corner of this trim piece, so I've put a little bit of high build primer on it. I'm going to let that go off and then I'm going to sand it down. Hopefully it just gets rid of that little imperfection. And then I'm going to spray the whole thing, give it a coat of primer, and then spray it up all gloss black again. But for the moment, I've just got to let everything go off.
Tomorrow, if we just aim for getting everything kind of ready, Saturday then we can have a good go at it and get it all on, and then what we'll have to do, mask all the car up.
Well, this is the thing.
Because you want to sand all the...
Well, this is the thing. I'll show you the worst one. So I don't know if we showed you this already. This is like, basically the lac is completely peeled off this.
So that's going to have to be masked up, sanded down, and then re-lacquered.
I think that's the worst one.
Well, we're gonna have to wash the car first, don't we?
It might be easier just taking it off the car.
Maybe.
So,
but that means
we'll have a look anyway.
We'll have to, but then all of them are gonna have to come off because I think every single one, look, has all got that. It all needs doing.
Thing is, I just think doing it on the car, you're risking damaging.
No. I know what you're saying. I think the only good parts on it are these. They're the only things that need re-lacquering.
Well, we'll see in a sec. Sweaty, ain't it, today, Dave?
It's proper sweaty. Iron on camera because I got my top off again and we don't want to scare everyone. So Jack's been busy. Jack's took full control of this.
Just sanding, spraying.
So
that's a crack coat. It's just a base coat.
Yeah, that's just a base coat of the first thingy. But Jack has been very busy with the carbon and matte lacquering it. And one he did yesterday, which is here,
which is
If you look at that, mate, that's better than Citroen, that is. Tell you wouldn't even know that was damaged.
But we put it on the car next to the old stuff. It looks better than
It looks
the
good,
old stuff.
don't it?
Yeah.
It looks bang on. So yeah. So
We are getting there.
we are getting there.
We've been busy dismantling the car, trying to get all the arches and things off that need a bit of a touch up. But the worst one, all the others have only got like a sort of minor lacquer peel, but the worst one is a rear passenger where, as you can see, it's looks naff, doesn't it? So I'm going to sand all this down, get all the loose bits of lacquer off, and then give it another spray up. Hopefully it'll turn out good.
You'd have seen on the, what's it called, time lapse. So I took the rear diffuser off because on the top of the diffuser, it flaked quite bad, hadn't it, the lacquer. So I threw it back on, and I'll tell you now, he's done a fantastic job. I can't even see where, I couldn't even tell you without looking back where it would have flaked. Jack's done a great job on that. And like we keep saying, you could be really finicky about every single mark on this car, but it's not about
being perfect,
yeah,
is it?
it's just about taking your eye from like major bits. It looked a bit ratty, didn't it?
Yeah, the lacquer peel.
Like to just, and it's literally all you got to do is have a little sand down and then just re-lacquer it, and like he's done a great job. And it just, yeah, that's one more little job off the list. He's got a couple more going on. So like here, it's very, very, very slightly there, but mate, to be that picky, if it was a 24 plate, then yeah. But it's a 14 plate, so no.
Thing is, some of it was like bad enough.
Yeah.
If someone comes to buy it and they're like, it's just the lacquer's peeling everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just going to put them off.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
it put me off. Well, it's not that it puts you off. You just.
It's a job you've got to
It's
sort
all
out.
on them.
Isn't it?
Oh, I've got to get that done.
Yeah.
And if they pick this up and go, I'll just go, shut up, mate. I'll go, I tell you what, you're trying to buy the wrong car here.
Admiring the handiwork.
That's us done for today. As you might have noticed with your keen eyes, we have got this piece, but it's black.
It's black on the racing one.
It's black on the racing one, and we got a chrome one, so we've got to sort that out. We're not happy with the finish of this, so we're going to get this redone.
Yeah.
And we've literally brought this black strip that goes around here, but we're just waiting for it to come in. So, in all, few finishing touches, the front will be complete.
Yeah.
As you can see in the episode, Jack's handiwork on all the carbon repair has been bang on. What was we quoted? It was quoted £1,800 to repair and sort out all the carbon. And what have we done it for?
A couple of cans of
50 quid?
and some time.
50 quid to 100 quid maybe, if that. Like, I'll just say it like, you know, that's me being a bit
generous.
Yeah, so
It's not bad, is it really?
word to the wise, if something's broke, have a go at fixing it yourself. Worst case, you'll have to pay someone to have it done. It's worked out for us. We did notice when we've had the bumper off, there's 2 wires either side that have snapped, so we've got to replace them. We was going to put the side skirt on, but all the clips are broke.
So we're going to get some of them.
So we just got to get some new clips, 2 wires, which are a plug-in, and these chrome things here
a couple
are
of trim
broke.
pieces.
So, in all, it's done, mate.
It's looking
complete.
Looking refreshed.
It's like 99% complete. All we've got to do is clip a few things on.
Yeah.
Then what we're going to do then is we're going to give it a big service, and then get the service wheels done. And I think we'll discuss about having it properly detailed.
Yeah, I think we should.
Because I think it'll, because the roof could do with a
Yeah,
good
it needs
clean.
like
so
reseal it, don't they?
yeah, so I think that's what we'll do then. But I hope you like the episode. I hope you enjoy the little Citroen racing. Who knows?
take it on a track?
We might even take it racing.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Let's get it all done and let's then break it again.
What about this versus the Civic, do you reckon? Battle of the rare cars.
Donington, hot hatch
Challenge.
Oh, we hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget, we're still doing bottles of beer. We have actually got to put some more pounds on this, and we've got to complete this, but it's just having the time.
Yeah.
We want to get this out. The lads did well last week when I weren't here on the Sierra. It's actually now seeing it complete. When you're seeing it, it is actually thinking about motivating you to get at it. So when Stokes comes off, I'm just going to get him to put his hand in his pocket. I'm going to put my hand in my pocket, and we're going to throw some money at it. But yeah, like, comment, follow,
share, subscribe.
and us, do everything. Yeah. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
See you later, lads.